Hello students, welcome to science class of standard 10th. Today we are going to study chapter number 15 and the name of our chapter is our environment. We are studying this chapter from so long from our previous standards. We are hearing this word our environment. So you are already aware about this word, but in this chapter we are going to see some more interesting things about our environment. So, first definition of our environment: the air, water, and land in or on which animals, people, and plants live is called environment. Biotic components such as plants and animals and abiotic components such as air, water, soil are the components of environment. In biotic components we are including the living organism, while in the case of abiotic components we are including the components which are non-living. Waste. We all know what is the meaning of waste. Unwanted or unusual items, remains or leftover or byproducts of household garbage together are termed as waste. Waste is generated in our houses on a daily basis. There are mainly two major forms of waste. They are solid waste and liquid waste. In solid waste, vegetables, fruit peels, scales, metal waste, plastic, etc. comes in the solid waste. And there are two types. The waste is further divided into its two types, that is biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste. We have to learn the difference between the biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste. The difference between biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste are: biodegradable waste can decompose naturally in the environment, means environment can itself decompose it, while non-biodegradable waste do not decompose naturally. Biodegradable waste are safe for environment, while opposite to that non-biodegradable are harmful to environment. Biodegradable waste are of natural ingredients, where non-biodegradable are made up of synthetic materials. Biodegradable waste can be constantly reused and non-biodegradable waste cannot be reused. Biodegradable waste can persist for small time interval in the environment, while non-biodegradable can persist for longer time. Biodegradable waste examples are waste papers, wood crumbles, and non-biodegradable waste examples are plastic bags, cans, and disposal bottles. Now, ecosystem. Biotic community together with physical environment forms an interacting system is called ecosystem. Means in ecosystem all the biotic community interact with each other and forms a community, in short, that depends on each other. Now, each ecosystem consists of two main components, biotic and abiotic component, and ecosystem is further divided into two types, that is natural and artificial. First, its components are also two and its types are also two. Components of ecosystem are: they are further divided into biotic and abiotic. Abiotic means non-living, as we have discussed, air, water, land, and biotic means plants, animals. Biotic components are further divided into three parts, that is producer, consumers, and decomposers. We have already studied these terms, what are producer, consumers, and decomposers. Producers means plants and decomposers means they naturally decomposed it. Consumer is further divided into herbivore, carnivore, omnivores, and parasites, which we are already aware. And its components, its two types are artificial ecosystem and natural ecosystem. In artificial ecosystem, crop field, aquarium, garden, which the human beings can made it artificially, that is artificial ecosystem or man-made ecosystem. And natural ecosystem is further divided into two types, that is aquatic ecosystem and terrestrial ecosystem. And aquatic ecosystem is further divided into two types, that is marine and freshwater ecosystem. Now, food chain. Living organism of an ecosystem depends on each other for their foods and form a chain that is termed as a food chain. And food chains are always describe the unidirectional flow of energy and cyclic flow of materials in ecosystem. Each ecosystem has its own food chain. The individual followed one are linked with the chain of other system and forms a complex net term as food web. So first we see about a food chain. Here we can see there are three different food chains. That first we see A, that is plants or the trees are eaten by deer and the tiger eats deer. Grass are eaten by grasshoppers. Frog eat that grasshoppers. The frog is eaten by snakes and the snake is eaten by eagle. And the third ecosystem, grass are eaten by some insects. That insect is eaten by fish. That fish is eaten by the vulture. So there it forms a trophic levels, or we can tell a pyramid, that a producer is consumed by primary consumer. Primary consumer is further consumed by secondary consumer. Secondary consumer is further consumed by tertiary consumer. This forms a chain that each level of food chain is known as trophic levels. And as we move from at each trophic level, it forms a transfer of energy, because as you can take, the grasshopper takes the energy from the grass, but if the frog is eating that grasshopper, only 1% of the energy, only 10% of the energy has been consumed of the grasshopper. Okay, so the rest of it, the grasshopper itself used for its work. In the same way, as a snake is eating the frog, only 10% of the frog's energy can be consumed by the snake. Rest of the energy the frog has already used. So this is the energy flow in an ecosystem. So energy flow is always in a unidirectional way. The sunlight, the energy consumed by producer, from producer, herbivorous to carnivorous to top carnivorous. This will be the unidirectional flow of the energy. As each trophic level, energy flow is going on, and the energy flow starts from the primary producers. And as the trophic level increases, the energy is transformed at each trophic level, but as I have discussed, only 10% of the energy is transformed. As you can see here, on the first trophic level, if 1 kilojoule energy is having, at next trophic level it will be having 10 kilojoule. The next it will be increase of 100, and the next it will be of the 1000. Now food web, as I discussed, it forms a complex network of food chain that is known as food web. If we consider this, if it's interrelated, that here from tiger, it's again eaten by the eagle, means eagle again, tiger eats that eagle. Okay, so we can tell that two food chains are interconnected. Now biomagnification. What is the meaning of biomagnification? The uncontrolled use of pesticides and other chemicals increase the amount of this chemical in the use of soil or water bodies. From the soil and water, they enter in the body of plants and then in the body of herbivorous and carnivorous. As these chemicals are not degraded, they get accumulated progressively at each trophic level. This phenomena is known as biological magnification. Means as we have seen, from the trophic level, in the grass, if we see the first trophic level, that is producer. In the grass, if there are lots of pesticides which are already present, that pesticides containing plants is if eaten by the primary consumer, so that consumer will get that pesticides inside their body, and inside their body there will be increasing in the amount of that pesticides or the chemicals. if that animal is again been eaten by the carnivorous or the secondary consumer, in that secondary consumer there will be again increase in that amount of chemical. So magnification means is, we can understand that magnification means in the big amount. So the chemicals get magnified in the bodies as increasing in the trophic level. If any plants containing the pesticides is been eaten by the human, that human contains the maximum amount of pesticides, and we need to control the use of pesticides, because if we are giving that pesticides to the plants and that plants we are eating, if we are consuming, even though we are washing the vegetables and all, then we are using, still the amount of pesticides which are present on them does not remove that much easily, so that we are consuming the pesticides. And as we know that as the trophic level increases, the amount of pesticides in the body gets accumulated, means it gets magnified. So we must control the use of pesticides. Ozone layer depletion. So ozone layer is located at the higher level of the atmosphere, means stratosphere. Ozone is formed by the action of UV radiation or oxygen molecule. The higher the energy of UV radiation converts some O2 molecules into free oxygen atoms. The free oxygen atoms combine with the molecular oxygen and form the molecules of ozone. So in the atmosphere, from oxygen it gets splitted into two different molecules of oxygen, as here mentioned. That one different molecule of oxygen get combined with the O2 and it forms O3, that is ozone. Ozone is very that layer that protects our earth from the UV radiation. On our earth there is a blanket, or you can say there is a covering of the ozone layer. If that coverings get depleted, our earth can get direct radiations from the UV rays. That direct radiation of UV rays is very much harmful for the humans as well as for the earth. So we must take care that our ozone layers does not get depleted. But what happens? See, appliances like AC and refrigerators contains a compound called chlorofluorocarbons. Release of chlorine from CFCs during the use of such appliances is a major cause of ozone layer depletion. As per an estimate, 80% of the depletion of ozone layer is caused due to CFC. Hence, we should reduce the amount of waste which we produce so that our future generation may lead to a quality life. So, we must take care that we reduce the use of such things. Before, in this appliances, CFCs were used, but before some years, the government has banned the use of CFC in such appliances so that we can consume, so we can live a healthy life, and we can help to get it depleted from the CFCs. So here we have completed our chapter number 15. In-text question answers are mentioned in the PDF. Next we will meet with a new chapter.